Welcome back to another Jewish meeting. We're going to be talking about the Mitzvah of Kibbud Av V'Em, honoring your father and mother. So the first pasuk that comes to mind is in the Aseret Hadibros in the Ten Commandments. Kabed es avicha ve'esimecha leman yarichin yamecha. If you honor your father and your mother, Hashem will pay you back with a long life. You'll have fulfilling and long. Your days will be filled. You'll have a long life. So just on a quick note, what's the connection between this reward and this mitzvah? If I honor my parents, I'll be getting a long life. Yeah, you'll be getting a long life, and you'll be having your own kids respecting you when you get older. So the more you respect your parents, and we don't know what our parents are up to because they're 20, 30, 40 years older than us. And that means they're much smarter. As we get older, we learn a whole bunch of new things, and we start seeing the world differently. We start accepting things that we weren't able to accept when we were younger. We start learning to appreciate things that we didn't enjoy. And there are so many reasons why things happen to us, and different stories that we go through, that we slowly become different people. And when you respect your parents just because they're older than you, and not even for the fact that they brought you into this world, just because they're older than you, that's Neseva Takum. You should stand up for older people. Vadarta Pnei Zaken. You should beautify the face of an elder. That itself is beautiful and has to be respected and honored. But then we come to Kavod Savicha V'Samecha, which is they brought you into this life, and they cared for you. They kept you alive. They've been partners with Hashem to help you get on your feet for the first couple of years of your life. And when we get older, our kids will see how much we put in for our parents, and we'll be receiving that in return in the future, and Hashem promises that. And that's a beautiful thing. Then we go into the next pasuk, which is not in the Ten Commandments, but we see it in Parashat Kedoshim. Ish imoy v'aviv tiro. A person should fear his mother and his father. Ani Hashem, because I am Hashem. So Rashi explains over there, and it's from a Gemara that says that we should fear our mother and father. First the mother. When it says Kabed, honor your father and mother, it's easier to honor the mother. That's why Hashem wrote the father first. But over here, it's easier to fear the father, so that's why it says Ish imoy v'aviv tiro. You should fear your mother first. And Rashi explains Ani Hashem, that if your father asks you to do an avera, you have to say, listen, me and you have to honor and fear Hashem, so I can't listen to you. So we see how honoring our parents is for things that are good, that are things that are permitted, things that are acceptable. And of course, there are certain lines that we make for ourselves and for our parents. We are allowed to step out of that line a little bit to show them that we will do everything in the world to be able to make them happy, but as long as it doesn't go against the word of Hashem. And that's where we see that we're going to be doing a mitzvah, and we get reward in this world, but that reward is not necessarily a reward tit for tat, like you did this, you get this, and now since you received the reward, the mitzvah that you did no longer has like any points that you could collect because you've already collected it all. Rather, when it comes to Kavod Savicha V'Samecha, when you honor your parents, you receive a blessing which is, it's not irrelevant, as we explained. It's just that you'll be getting this as a result, but the mitzvah still holds all the credit within it. And that's what we say in the Mishnah and Peah. We say it in the morning. Elu devarim she'adam oichel peraseim b'olam hazeh v'akeren kayemes lo la'olam haba. That these are the mitzvahs. When a person does them, you eat the fruits in this world, but the actual keren, the actual principle, remains in olam haba. And the first one, the elu hein, which one are they? Kibbud Av V'Em. You see that Kibbud Av V'Em, honoring your parents, is something that the entire principle of the mitzvah, all the entire mitzvah is up there, and we receive the benefits, the fruits that grow out of it. And we see how Yaakov Avinu, when he came back from Lavan, he says, Im Lavan Garti, I lived with Lavan. And Rashi explains, Taryag Mitzvah Shemarti, I kept all 613 mitzvahs. But just a couple of psukim later, Yaakov Avinu says, Kotointi mikoila chasadim umikoila emes asher sisas avdecha. Right? I don't have any merits, I don't have any credits. And I don't understand. Didn't you just say you kept all 613 mitzvahs? So Yaakov Avinu says, yeah, those mitzvahs that that I couldn't do, which is like honoring my parents, although I listened to my father, and me being away from home for 22 years was me fulfilling the mitzvah of that his parents requested of him. Even though with that all, he wasn't able to honor them and serve them in front of them. So he felt like, I don't want to use any of those mitzvahs that are going to deduct from my credit that I have, but the mitzvahs that actually give me the fruits on this world, I don't have any of those anymore. So you see how these mitzvahs of honoring parents, kibbud, being kind and doing favors to other people, those things actually pay off in this world, and there's no deduction from the actual principle. So what the Gemara says that there are three partners in a person. There's the Hashem, there's a father, and there's a mother. So the Chovos HaLevavos goes into this conversation that when a person starts believing, when you want to put trust in anybody, so every person trusts, and it works like this. And the simple analogy is a little baby trusts in the source of the milk, doesn't even recognize the mother, just knows that there's a place where he gets the milk. Then, as he gets older and his perception grows, he starts realizing, hey, my mother is actually the one providing all this milk and all this food to me. So he places his trust in the mother, and he says, look how dumb I was. I placed my trust in the source of the milk. I should have placed my trust in my mother. And then it goes up and you say, my mother is protected by my father. So if not for my father protecting my mother, I wouldn't be able to trust my mother, because maybe my mother would be taken away. So he says, how foolish was I for trusting my mother? Let me trust my father. But then as he gets older and he realizes his father can only protect and serve when the father has money, when the father is protected on his own, he realizes, oh, wait a second. If my father can't protect himself, he needs external factors to do that. How about me? I could go and get those external factors, which is I could go and make money, I could be creative and make money on my own and protect myself. But after a while, he starts realizing, in order to make money, you have to please other people, you have to service them, you have to add some value to the world. So he starts realizing who are the players in his life, who is his boss, who is his main supplier, and he starts putting his trust into them. But then, as he speaks to them, he realizes, the ships aren't coming in, customers haven't paid, and there's no way to make payroll, and now I just worked an entire month and I didn't get paid. And he starts realizing, why am I trusting them if they are trusting Hashem as well? They're trusting Hashem in these areas where they have no control. They have no control over customers paying, they have no control over the shipping and service. So he says, let me trust in Hashem in those areas. And he says, how foolish was I that I trusted in the source of the milk, and my mother, my father, and myself, and my bosses, and my suppliers. And he says, I'm ready to believe and trust in Hashem. But the trust in Hashem is limited to the fact that he only trusts in things that are out of his control. If he needs rain, he's going to know, listen, there's nobody else besides for Hashem. If someone runs into his house with a gun, he knows, save me, the only one that could help me right now is Hashem. And he loses the ability he loses the strength or in himself to say that, I could do this. Not that he loses the strength, he just says that this is not up to me. This is up to Hashem, and I trust in him that he will follow through. If he wants me to stay alive, he's going to make sure that something's going to happen. And then as a person's perception grows, he starts realizing, wait a second, there's even more. I could trust Hashem even things that are in my control. I could choose this job or that job. So I'm going to choose the one that's easier for me, and I rely and trust on Hashem that He will make sure that I get all my provisions and everything will be fine. And then he goes on to another couple of steps. The Chovos HaLevavos goes on to another couple of steps where we learn how to trust in Hashem for more and more easier things. Saying, listen, Hashem, I want to be connected to you. I want to see you in every moment of my life. So I'm going to put my trust in you, and I'm going to attach myself and connect myself to your ways. And Hashem follows through, and that trust is a very high level, and we look forward to being there. So, Shloisha Shifim Ba'adam, we have three partners in a person. And when it comes to honoring our parents, we have to see them as just like it says Kabad es avicha v'samecha, we have Kabad es Hashem mahoncha. We have to honor Hashem, as the Gemara says in Maseches Kedushin. They are compared one to another. We have to honor with the same strength. We have to honor our parents. We have to honor Hashem. Why? Because when we trust in our parents, it's not just that we're trusting that they're going to deliver my selfish needs, my food and my shelter. I am trusting in them because I believe that Hashem put this all together. Hashem made that the father should be here, the mother should be here, should live in this place, should give birth to me, as we see in if you look into Rashi in Kapitel Perek 27, David Hashem Oyer V'Yishi, right? We're going to start saying it now in Elul. It says, Ki avi ve'imi azavuni v'Hashem yasfeni. My father and mother have left me alone, and Hashem has gathered me in. And Rashi explains, my father and mother, all they had to do was, conceive me, make me into the person I am. But the second I started forming inside the womb, they said, okay, now it's up to Hashem. Hashem is going to make that this seed should grow into a human being, and this human being will be cared for and grow up to be, the greatest person of all. And he ended up becoming David HaMelech, King David. So we see how there is a partnership between all three of those, between the Father, the Mother, and Hashem, and how Hashem works together with us to make us reach this ultimate goal. And that's why we honor Him. We honor them, we honor Hashem, we honor our parents, because we want this connection to the belief, to the trust in Hashem. And when we do, we will have L'man Yarichin Yomecha. Every single day will be an extended day. Every minute will be used properly. We will see Him clearly, and we will enjoy it, just like when we sit around the table with our parents and we enjoy ourselves and we know this is a place of no judgment, this is a place of acceptance. We could live in this life with Hashem, with our families, with our friends, and with the rest of the world in this peace, because we know that Hashem has taken care of us from the second we were born, and even way before that, He's been coddling our neshama and taking care of us for all time. And this is what we learn from honoring our parents. And there's so much more, so many more angles that we could approach this and see how much they care for us and how much we should be there for them and honor them in their younger age, in their older age, and spend time with them and give them and bring them the pride and nachas that they deserve. All right, have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening, and I hope this message is clear. And check out my books, watch my videos, and hopefully you'll learn something in every one of them. Have a wonderful day. Take care.